onions in. We'll saute these until they are softened. And then just as they start to soften, we'll put in the garlic. Garlic burns a lot quicker than onions, so that's why we always go onions first and then garlic. Onions are softened up. We will get the garlic crusher out and start getting some garlic in here. For this recipe, because we're making it for a large group, we are increasing the amounts of which we're putting things in. It said 1 piece of garlic for every can of beans, but I always go more garlic in any recipe. Always makes it taste a lot better, and also has some health benefits. Tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, we're going to put them directly in. And what we're going to do is we're just going to let them heat, and we're going to then put in the beans and some of the other ingredients once they start to soften up and a handful of them burst. So we're just trying to heat them gently so that they'll start to pop and release, all their juices and flavor. So now we've really cooked it down. You can start to see all the juices in there, and all of them are very soft. Most of them have burst. One tip is if you start to see some that are not burst, put them in the center where the heat's hottest, and then that will get the last stragglers to pop on their own. And that way it keeps good structure and you don't have a bunch of mashed tomatoes without any texture. So we kind of like having some texture, but get them to the point where they do start to release the juices as well. And all of the spices and the balsamic. So we're going to put in a bay leaf. Again, some of these spices are not in the actual recipe. We're adding a little bit just to give it a little extra flavor, a little bit of extra vitamins and minerals. So we're going to do a teaspoon each of parsley and oregano, and I think we're going to do about a half teaspoon of paprika and thyme, just because those are a little bit stronger tasting, and sometimes can overpower a dish if you put too much into it. So we're also going to add a little bit of harissa paste. Whenever you add some heat, the good news is not only will it make it taste great, but it also helps your body metabolize, definitely helps digestion, and also increases your metabolism. And, obviously that's great for people trying to keep a healthy weight. Now the balsamic goes in. Obviously for the 1 can recipe, it's 2 tablespoons. We're going to need 8, so I'm going to eyeball it myself, and we can always put on a little bit more later. It will deglaze the pan on the bottom, and then also get some of that sweetness in to the sauce, and by cooking it you get a little bit of the acidity out, so you get more sweetness and a little bit less acidity when you cook it in as opposed to putting it in at the end. We rinsed the beans, so the beans are going to go in, and what we're trying to do here is get them nice and saucy and get the some of the excess water out of the beans, and get them really to get a creamy texture, and for the sauce and the beans to meld, so that you don't have beans that have a soup of sauce at the bottom. You want it all to be kind of mixed in and all one consistency by the end. So we're just going to cook it low and slow and get it to meld, and flavors to meld, and textures to meld. So for each can of beans, there was supposed to be 1 pint of cherry tomatoes. We only had 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some tomato paste to get more of that tomato flavor. It will also thicken this up nicely. And, that's a good tip to have when you're feeling like something you're making could use a little bit of extra tomato flavor. You can just add a little bit of tomato paste, usually about a tablespoon is plenty, and that will give you the extra umami and savoriness you're going to need to make these things taste delicious. So now we're done. This is the consistency we're looking for. You see how like when I put this up, like you don't see any liquid dripping? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for sauce that sticks to the beans as opposed to just like falls off and is liquidy. So now we're ready to plate and moment of truth time.
I gotta say, I actually really enjoy it. I will grade this. I'm actually up to an 8.2. Very good. Really enjoy it.
I would give this an 8-1. Really like the consistency. Good sauce, good flavor. This gets 4 booms.
I would give this a 7.6. Very solid. I think that there could be a little bit more of a different flavor to it other than just the beans, but very good overall.
Wow, really good. I'm gonna go 7.9.